Where should we send the ambulance?
Send it to the frickin' moon, idiot.
Hi again everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. So Thursday was another day of bleeding for the Vinco Ventures aka BBIG Short Squeeze effort, and I hate to say it, but I told you so. But fear not, it's not all doom and gloom, and there is still life in this old girl, and Friday is setting up for potentially another wag of the short squeeze tail. So hopefully this stock can ride us into the weekend on a positive note, so let's get into the latest update on the health of the BBIG short squeeze effort. So looking at the most recent hourly data for the stock, the fading volume is a sign of a loss of appetite for the short squeeze in my eyes. This would partly be attributed to the elevated share price as well as some looking to capture profits, which at the end of the day is what we're all here for. Personally, I pulled out on Tuesday when the stock was back above $5. This is not one of those plays where people want to be left holding this stock for a year. You need to take profit when you think it's the right and only invest what you can afford to lose. Anyway, one pleasing sign that is encouraging me to potentially jump back into the stock during Friday's trade, that despite being another negative day for BBIG on Thursday, the stock traded in a tighter and flatter range and only dropped off late in trade in line with market sentiment as the broader market had a late sell-off, ending what was otherwise looking to be a positive rally for the market in general. So BBIG showed that it still has some support. Now, a few reasons why I think BBIG could jump again as early as Friday is that the stock price presents a more affordable entry point, encouraging larger numbers of shares to be purchased. Also, the price has fallen back below the various volume weighted moving averages, which could mean a move back to these various price points, particularly the 20-day moving average, represented by this blue line, could be on the cards, which would see the stock back up around the $4.80 mark. Furthermore, as the Bollinger Bands have started to narrow, following last Friday's and this Tuesday's blowing out of them, the current price point is coming close to the lower limit, further supporting a move back towards the moving average. Now, I again want to quickly reference the last time BBIG had a big short squeeze rally in August-September last year. Look how the stock price moved up, down, and up again. It basically followed a classic business cycle of boom, correction, for about 2 days, and then a boom again. Also, now look at the volume of trade for this period. It follows a similar pattern. Goes high, tapers off, then rallies again to a new high point. From my experience, this is a fairly common trend I have seen emerge in other short squeeze rallies I have looked at in the past, and BBIG has a recent history of behaving in this same way. Not that you should ever rely on past performance as an indicator for the future, but if we were to compare this historical example to the current state of the short squeeze rally, we get the following. But please note that the current rally pictured on the right has a wider column width and the one on the left is dealing with a slightly more elevated share price, which can be expected when you consider the level of dilution that has taken place for BBIG stock in the meantime. Anyway, what we can see is that there are similar trends between the two rallies. Our current rally, even in terms of numbers of days it has run for, and the peak hourly volume levels are at this stage almost identical. So I wouldn't be surprised if the current state of play combined with the end of week trade enthusiasm gives BBIG a big boost on Friday. Now, shifting over to the short starter, something very interesting is happening. Though when you consider that the market in general has continued to sag, perhaps it is not as surprising that BBIG, despite 2 consecutive down days, has crept further up the short squeeze candidates list on Fintel, jumping from 10th place to 5th. The main pressure points behind this rise being an increase in the borrow fee and the average days to cover. FYI, Shift Pixie is top of that list, which I covered in another video yesterday. Check it out. Anyway, Fintel seems to be lagging in their data as there has been no update in the percentage of the float shorted all week. The main point I'm trying to make here is that BBIG has managed to float closer to the top of this list despite 2 softer days. Also, it is worth pointing out that BBIG is by far the stock with the largest market cap inside the top 10 on the list currently. So it still is the best main stage short squeeze candidate for now, and this is pretty important. Because one last thing that is worth considering if you are still looking at playing the BBIG short squeeze is that while things are still good at the moment, the general nature of retail investing for these sorts of plays is down, at least compared to how it was last year. In other words, retailers are not as active in these sorts of plays as they were last year. According to this Thomson Reuters article, the retail sector is spending about $400 million less in the market than they were back in September last year, which is around the time BBIG last had its big rally. Thanks Metaverse. Not trying to generate any FUD around BBIG, but it is worth considering that retailers have slowed on meme stocks in recent times, something which I have to say is not altogether surprising when you consider all of the stories of apes being singed by downturns, myself included. Anyway, while retail interest may have dipped, Vinco Ventures is still in the top 10 most talked about stocks on Reddit, which makes me think that there is still some heat in this play. So let's buckle up and send this shit to the moon. Sorry about that. Anyway, despite a more subdued retail interest, the current state of play makes me think we are on the cusp of seeing another BBIG rally. Quite possibly on Friday, maybe on Monday. Not that any of this is financial advice, but on that note, you need to be smart and take profit when you feel the time is right, and do not risk more than you can afford on this play, because there is a good chance that BBIG is going to come crashing down eventually. Anyway, what do you guys think about BBIG at the moment? Is Friday or even Monday going to be a return to the breakneck gains that we've seen in recent times? How high is the rally going to run? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if there is another stock you would like to see me cover or revisit, drop a ticker symbol in the comments and I will see what I can do. Until next time everyone, may the markets trade in your favour. Cheers.